All right, and welcome into a real morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. This one coming to you the morning of March 21st, post game next morning of after the Boston Bruins lose in Vegas to the Golden Knights, 5-1, a late night for Raycroft, kind of for Jaffe too. But
turned into a late one for you, which I was enjoying quite immensely.
Yes, I know you were. I got the I love overtime text from Razor. Well, Maine and Northeastern headed to double overtime, and I gave him the old, you know what, off in reply. Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, proudly presented by Fazenda Coffee Roasters out of Dedham. Go check out fazendacoffee.com/morning brew, or just go to fazendacoffee.com and check out all the stuff they've got that isn't morning brew. The morning brew blend, the morning brew hats, or the morning brew clean canteens. They've got it all from light roast to dark roast, whole bean to ground. There's nothing that Fazenda Coffee won't do for you, folks. Phenomenal customer service and free shipping on orders over $35 or more. Go check out fazendacoffee.com. Whether you're at home or you got a business, you want to partner with somebody you trust, and Fazenda Coffee is that partner. Thank you to Fazenda Coffee for everything. Razor, was it a survival mode last night as the Bruins lose again? They've now lost 4 in a row and 7 of 9. It wasn't a bad first period.
Yeah.
I went through the game this morning. But it's so typical now. It's a second period letdown. And I know they're not as good a team as Vegas. I get it. We know all that. But did you feel let down, or were you almost just resigned to the fact that this was going to happen?
Oh, no, it's full resign mode. But it was good. The first period was somewhat entertaining and competitive. Swayman was really good, so he made some good saves to keep them in it. But yeah, you're resigned, against a good team like that with Vegas, 3 days off at home. They had a bad road trip finish, so the antenna was up for those guys. And it's the second periods against these better teams are just an absolute slogfest for them. They just can't. They can't move the puck well enough. They can't get out of their zone well enough. And it's 2 or 3 shifts of momentum, a couple of icings, and you just get the goal that you get from Dorofeev at the end of the second period that puts the nail in everything.
Dorofeev is the kind of player that I'm going to guess people don't know well in the East.
He's a finisher.
He is. I was going to say he's a real good goal scorer when it's all said and done. I remember talking to Bruce Cassidy about him. Must have been 6-8 weeks ago now when I was at NHL Network for a day. And I asked him about Dorofeev, and he just talked about how the instincts, the release, and the kind of things that it's one of those guys that he's developed the right way now last couple of years. And it's the rich get richer as the Vegas Golden Knights find him. And yet now you got this guy, 30 plus goals in the National Hockey League and counting. And I guess those are the kind of players that finish off your team. You bring in all the high price guys, and now you get this other guy, and you're like, that is a bonus for the kind of salary, his age, and then again, his ability to actually do that to finish, Razor.
That's right. He scored 3 goals that were all different, that are all goal scorer type goals, finding space, release is great, going to the front of the net. He took a high stick and still came back. Like, he's a tough little kid. And yeah, he's a perfect complementary piece that's going to get paid a lot to go somewhere else. And a guy that, quite honestly, that the Bruins are going to need guys like that next season. Those are the wingers they're going to need to complement this team and to pick them up. And 30 goals. It says he's probably going to get to 35 here. That's no slouch.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Is his contract up? I guess I should have looked at. Is he a free agent to be, or RFA?
I didn't look last night.
Okay. I don't think he's I think he's old enough, but he's no. But eventually, yeah, he'll probably. Or you know what? They're aggressive as heck there.
Yeah,
they'll
move trade
somebody else. They'll trade somebody and keep him.
That's right.
I mean, they're amazing. I'm all over the place here. I actually took some notes down because I'm like, what? I'm going to ask you, like, if you could go to a Vegas show, which one would you pick? But I'm going to save that for a little later because I didn't know really where to go with this because I don't want to break down the game. But
no, not at all.
Vegas and their consistency, I want to ask you, has Vegas become like the destination that guys want to go to now in the NHL, even more so than a Florida or a Tampa? They both have no state tax, right? They're both those other teams are winners too. But in some ways, I mean, has Vegas has it at least matched those two, that the perception that those are the places that everybody wants to look at?
Yeah. So when I was in the league, it was LA and it was Anaheim and even San Jose. It's a big part of that because Joe was there and they had great teams. Now it's changed. There's 4 teams for me. It's Tampa, it's Florida, it's Dallas, and then it's Las Vegas. And you can pick and choose. It would be a little bit different for each player, but those are the top 4 destinations in the National Hockey League, and I think it's continuing to separate itself. Brandon Saad's a perfect example. He literally left millions on the table to go to Vegas, knowing he could go to Vegas and sign a deal there and get better and play and get himself back in the league, or just stay there and hang out and play there on less wages and live in the desert because he's made a bunch of money already. So yeah, there's no question they are right at the top. If you're a free agent and Vegas wants you, you're going there. They don't have to fight too hard. They're not competing with too many other opportunities. Dorofeev, by the way, has one more year next year, $1.8 million. So
it's exactly. I mean, that's one of those ultimate finishing pieces to your team.
Yeah,
I mean,
he'll score in the playoffs too. He's not going away, right? Like he's not a player that's going away. And Saad's, like they're deep and they roll. And
yeah, I think they're a very good team. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're leading their division, but I just think that from day one, they have shown how aggressive they're going to be. They've shown how it's a player's first, place. Yes, I mean the building. You can't compare the building to Tampa and Florida. It's much newer, right? I mean, they're all selling out. They're all 18 to 19,000.
The other thing that they've done really well is they've sold families. They've sold wives and kids on being out there, and that was going to be the tough thing. Like, Vegas, like I don't want my kids living in, but they've done a good job of building a family, and there is. So
with that said, this is probably going to be the first time in a while that the Bruins are going to have to sell players, families, et cetera. And, I mean, they've got the amazing city. They've got the history, the rich history. They've got the original Six Factor, which it's big, folks. It still is big. Is it the end all be all? No, in my opinion, but it's big. But now with the direction of the team and, they're not rebuilding, they're retooling. We know that they are, and they're going to go after pit players, but this is probably going to be a different off-season sell in some ways. Wouldn't you agree for the Bruins?
Correct. Yeah. And yeah, don't get me wrong, Bruins fans. The Bruins are right there. Whether, Toronto, New York, Boston, LA,
right up there.
Yep. That's the next one. And it's a little bit down. And I think those 4 teams that we just talked about, when I say they're getting guys a little bit on the cheap that are a little bit older, that are a little bit more established, the Bruins aren't going to lose out to many teams in free agency when they go out and put a check on a table. There's just so many hockey players love it here. They love Boston.
Yep.
Their families love Boston. It's close enough to home. They can get wherever they need to very quickly. So no, and it's a great small city, big city, however you want to look at it. So they're right there, but you're not getting. It's like the Brandon Saads of the world, like those guys, the OELs, the Ekman Larsons who went. Those are the guys that are going south. Even Brad Marchand, he's the last.
If you had to pick a spot besides here,
he picked Florida.
He picked Florida, right? So, I mean, look, right now, Florida, the team du jour after winning last year and going to the Cup the year before, but yet Vegas won a couple of years ago and had been to the Cup before. It's just, you got to admit, it's impressive what they've done in the short period of time. And, both right now, I think Florida and Vegas are the 2 teams, and even Tampa, so you still like, how did they do that? Oh my God, how did they pull that up? Well, they've been aggressive. They're doing it. So, sometimes you just got to say, good job by you. I just thought it was interesting. I was looking at it and like, all right, has Vegas become one of those teams? And It has. It just has. And they're good, man. And they're still big. Are they fast enough for the place? I think so. I do. I think they've got enough speed up front. Do you?
Yeah, up front they do, and they move the puck so well, and they close space. Yeah, but I'm always taking a bigger team over a real slow or a real fast, smaller team. Still am, and that's the whole thing, right? They're not getting. They missed the playoffs by 1 point a few years ago. They had all those injuries and everything, but they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They've got their guys lined up for 6, 7, 8 years, and the Eichels and the Hannafins and the Theodores and even the Petrangelos, who's an older guy, like they're not going anywhere at all. They're going to be formidable for 10 more years.
Yeah. It's really you every once in a while you think, oh, they're going to go down. So I mean, I really haven't had that thought with them, but then the Kelly McCrimmon and the staff, they go up, they do something,
yeah,
right, and they take it. Hello, there we go. We got you back. No, that was. That's what they just. That's just what they do, and I think that's the mantra, or the MO of that organization from day one, to be ultra aggressive. Again? I know this is not a Vegas Golden Knights show, but because they just played him, the 6-year deal for Adin Hill. Reasonable. Are you confident in that kind of deal for that guy?
Yeah, because he's perfect for that style. He works hard. He's played in pressure games. He's won a Stanley Cup for them. And he doesn't, he's not an elite goaltender for me. When I say elite, like, a Vasilevsky or Bobrovsky, or could go anywhere and win. I think those guys can. I believe in those guys. Adin Hill can't just go anywhere and win, but he can win in Vegas with the style of play that he has. He's a Ford truck. And those guys appreciate a Ford truck behind them. They don't need the Lamborghini behind them. They just need a guy who's going to be there every night. He's steady Eddie, doesn't give up bad goals, may not make the most amazing save, might, athletically challenged at certain times, but again, he works real hard. He's big, and he trusts the process in front of him. They have a great goalie coach in Sean Burke who's really dialed him in. So it's similar to just building. He's a guy who's going to do what he's doing right now for 6 more years. Like, there's not much to his game, and there's not much that he needs to change or will change because of his big body. And he plays his 50 games and should go on a run. The run will be interesting. So it kind of goes back to, can they actually win? Yeah. Are they fast enough? It's the same as Adin Hill, fast enough to play 28 playoff games and get them all the way through. But he can win a big one at the end if he needs to.
Yeah. He's their version of Chris Osgood, perhaps, was to the Detroit Red Wings. Now, Ozzy had a pretty damn good career as well, right? So,
it doesn't mean they're bad. It's just that they're not going to win Vezinas, right?
Right. Exactly. Right. And I always said it's the old, you have to be the best goalie for the team you're on, per your comments about the type of truck he is and the type of auto that he would be. It's a good analogy. So, good to him. 6-year deal, a little over $6 million a season.
And that's going to be short money for a goalie in 3 years, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's a lot of money for him, but I mean, salary cap wise, you're looking at
no. What I'm saying is, you could make the argument it's not short money now, but it's reasonable money now, given what we've seen other goalies get at 8.25, and right. Swayman, Ottinger, Ullmark, etc. All of them. Yep. He's won the cup, right? He's won. He's won a cup. Speaking of goaltending, a bunch of goals upstairs on Jeremy Swayman in the game against Vegas. At least 3, right? Maybe 4.
High blocker too.
High blocker, right. Had that little note here. Is that a sign of something he needs to work on, or is this just good shooting and a team playing really confident, going, tucking them upstairs? Where are you at after seeing those goals last night?
I was thinking about it last night during the, at 1 a.m. and there is a pattern there. What I was thinking too is, like, the Bruins haven't scored a goal like that when was the last time a guy went down the wing and ripped it bar down? Like they like,
do not ask me to remember things because my memory sucks.
Yeah, well, it wasn't this week, that's for sure. So I was kind of thinking of it from a Bruins point of view, and from Swayman's point of view, I don't know. Like, I didn't think he tracked either of them very well. I don't know if he was thinking something else, especially the first Dorothea goal.
Yes.
He was there. He was over. I don't know if he thought there might have been a pass back in front, but it didn't. He didn't react to it. I think it's very easy to say that Jeremy's rattled right now. He's going through something he's never gone through on a really bright stage. And I think he's a little bit deer in the headlights, his mind isn't completely clear and just reacting to shots. He's overthinking a little bit, and that means you go down a little bit early maybe, or you don't drive into a shot the same way. That's what it looks like to me.
I was going to ask you about and again, my neophyte expert goaltending analysis, getting up there. Is it holding his feet a little bit more? I had that marked here, being beat up high. What can you do better there from just a read thing?
Yeah, you do have to hold your feet just that split second, but it's not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. It's a confidence thing. Like that goal, the third Dorofeev goal where it gets deflected in front.
Right. That's a scramble.
And there's a wild scramble, but instead of like in Florida last season in the playoffs, on that scramble, he would have stayed up on his knees. He would have pushed back into his net. He would have been up and over it. Instead, he's falling back because he isn't really sure where it is. And he goes back on his back to like scramble. It's just that mindset is scramble mode, survival mode, rather than just make save mode. That seems to be front and center for me. And again, he's got to fight through it. It's just, I mentioned it to Dale last night. It's just like when we talk about Mason Lowry having to figure things out on the fly here, and he makes plays and then he goes -7 over 2 games. And this is kind of the same thing with the starting goalie thing. Like it really is. And knowing that you don't have enough goal support, knowing that it's just an uncomfortable place and you've signed a contract, like all of these things are in your head. And it's hard to play in the NHL when you have anything but stopping the puck in your head.
So when was the first time that you got rattled in your career, and so it pains you on the inside, right? It absolutely must.
So I was lucky where I could get rattled in the minors, and I could learn how to get out of it down in the minors without everybody watching all of the time. So my first year, at the end of my first year pro, I wasn't playing. I started playing bad. I had a great first half of the season, and then the pro game got me, and I had to learn. So I lost a lot in that second half. And then the big moment for me was my third year pro coming out of camp. Robbie Fatorik, they wanted me to make that team. And I had a good summer, but I didn't have a good camp. I gave up 7 goals in an exhibition game in Worcester, lost 7-1.
Not good.
Not good.
No.
And again, all I had to do was kind of like have a good camp because they really did want me to make it. And then they literally played me the next day. Like that's how much they wanted me to bounce back. And
they're like begging you, right?
Yeah, like come on, dude. Like come on, like go again. And I remember it was in Manchester, and it wasn't as bad as 7-1, but it wasn't a bounce back. Like maybe 2 in the first and 2 in the second kind of thing. Like not again. My head was not clear, and so went to the minors, and then I was mad in the minors for a month. So like I had a really bad start my third year pro. Where it got to the point where it was, touch and go because that was at the end of my entry level deal and everything else. And fortunately, again, I worked through it and ended up having an unbelievable finish and got myself back to the NHL. But that's where you learn. And that's kind of what Jeremy's doing now, but it's at the NHL level, and it's just a different thing.
You know what you had to do there, Razor? And another way of saying it, you had to refresh and remodel your game.
I did.
That's what you had to do.
Graciano in a big way.
That's just like Graciano Construction can do for you, as we recognize our sponsors for being big time supporters of Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. Go check out GracianoConstruction.com to refresh and revitalize your space. Maybe your home is a little rattled, so to speak, right now. Now you got to face the facts that you need to rebuild it or remodel it is probably the better way of putting it. So call Graciano Construction at 508-330-7589 or go GracianoConstruction.com and ask and take a look at their site and connect with Doug Graciano. Again, there's nothing they can't do, and they'll give you some great ideas. GracianoConstruction.com. the place to go if you're in the Greater Metro West area, inside Boston, or maybe even a little further outside that. Doug Graciano and his crew will always treat you with respect, and they will make your home project actually seem like fun. Check out GracianoConstruction.com. And if you're a little rattled, you know what the other good thing you could do? I'm really trying to kind of work it all together. Maybe you just need to relax a little bit. Well, what do you do then if you want to relax a little and you don't have time to go get a bev or anything like that? Go to Sunset Lake CBD. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com and check out all the great products that they have. And they do have great products. And Razor, they have got products of all types to help make you feel just calm. They can also help you go to sleep. Like for somebody like me who needs it desperately. Oh, watch hitting the microphone. It's my first time doing this as I try to also produce at the same time here. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com. Check out the products that they grow and harvest, and they ship right from their farm to your door. All their craft CBD products are fantastic, folks. Their packaging is beautiful. We've said numerous times their customer service is great. They're so personable there that they'll just, they'll help you through any questions you have. Again, products to help you relax after a tough day at work, maybe some gummies or tinctures to help you sleep, and you can play around with different products that they have. They have stuff with and without melatonin. Nothing's better than a great night's sleep. They got topicals as well if you need something for your muscles or to help even rehydrate your skin. And if you order over $75, Sunset Lake CBD will ship your order for free. Go to their website, check it out. Tell them the guys with Morning Brew sent you. You know how they'll know that? Use the code BREW20, BRU20, for 20% off your entire order. I got home late last night, just like you, Razor, and I still said I got to take some. And I took a little extra of the tinctures. I need to actually order some more of the gummies. I'm running out, and boy, did that help! It really helped. I slept till 7. I never sleep 7 hours. Nah, not 7, 6.5 hours. But for me, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a solid sleep. You know what? The swag is pretty good out there too.
It is.
The swag is real good. I wear my sweatshirt all the time.
You're wearing it the other day.
Yeah, I love it.
You were repping repping the other day. Lastly, Apex Entertainment. I usually say, what's the Apex Entertainment most entertaining moment of the game? I'll say it's the Pastrnak pass to Morgan Geekie.
Yeah, it's still David. It's David every night.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's so good. He's getting frustrated. He's getting frustrated. He's gonna have a drop off here. One of these. There's gonna be a week here where it you can see. And if it doesn't, I'll be shocked because you can kind of see him. He's getting a little annoyed.
Well, he's getting tired. It's a mentally tired situation, and anybody in their job can see it. Yes, this is a fun job, but you're still going out there against guys that are trying to beat the snot out of you. They don't want to let David Pastrnak produce, and he doesn't have a lot of help. I mean, thankfully, Morgan Geekie continues to produce.
Yeah,
I know he was in a little bit of a downturn, but I mean, overall, he's producing. But when I mean downturn, I'm talking about it's gotten tougher for him too, and it's gotten tougher for that line. They're the only line really going. We'll give Apex Entertainment most entertaining moment of the game, the pass from Pasta over to Geekie, and 100,000 square feet of pure fun. Apex Entertainment in Marlborough. Go check it out. I don't know. Fabian Lysell called up. We hadn't talked about that. We weren't sure who would end up being called up. We got the answer. Fabian Lysell, Michael Callahan. Didn't play against Vegas. He's got to be in against San Jose, doesn't he? I mean, now you got to play him.
Yeah, I think you have to play both of them. I think it's not the worst thing not to play him against Vegas and maybe not LA. Like San Jose is a good fit, and then back again in Anaheim possibly. Yeah, at some point they have to swim too.
Well, that's why I would say, you know what? If you play well against San Jose,
and then you
play him against LA.
That's fine. Yeah,
play him. So what if they got big? So you know what? If you
you got to know. You just have to know. You have to know, and so it has been curious. And I know they're still in it, right? Like they have to think that they're still in it. They're only 3 points out or 5 points out, like as a player and as a coaching staff. But the fact that the offensive lineup hasn't changed in 3 games and they've been under 20 shots in all 3 games is it kind of interesting to me. Like not a tweak. No one's moved. No one's changed. You're at the point that's got to kind of start to happen more and more. So yeah, I would.
Are you telling
I
me
hope
you
we
think
see Lysell. It'll make it more interesting for us on Saturday night too.
okay,
I mean, if nothing else.
I'll take that element, that aspect.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Something to talk about. I understand what you're saying about they have to think that way. But in your heart of hearts, you really think they're still thinking that? I don't.
Well, no. I mean the coaches and the players, but as an organization, no, they're not thinking that. But again, you can't. Once you cross that line at this time of year and say we're done, like at the front of your mind as a coach, as a head coach, or as a player, as a goalie, there's too many games left to really do that. Like that's kind of like a 5-6 game left thing that you do that because this is a really long road trip if you do that now.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, look, absolutely, as the head coach and coaching staff, you keep doing what you got to do. That's what you're
paid to do.
About. That's what you do, right?
That's it. That's what I mean. Yeah,
you do that still as a coach at any level. In theory, you always believe that there's A, something to play for, and B, there's reason to tinker, and there's reason this and that. To your point, though, they haven't mixed up the line because they really haven't had the options.
No.
Now you've force-fed an option, so to speak, up. Again, play them. Go for it. Give me three games in a row, 14 plus minutes, right? Go.
Yep.
What is the difference if you lose, another 3 games? Then there's no difference to me.
No.
So at least you have more of an idea. Yes, he won't be playing a guy like Lysell. I mean, you got to put him in an offensive situation. Maybe you put him with a guy like Middlestep. Put him on the right side there, a guy that can handle the puck and, is trying to show himself as well. Something like that, right? I think you got to do that and give him a go. Again, I'd be shocked if he isn't there against San Jose. San Jose, we know, has been struggling this year too. But, I mean, this is a pick'em game as far as I'm concerned going into San Jose on a Saturday night.
San Jose can outscore you. That's for sure. They can outscore you.
They got Celebrini. Enough said, right there.
Yeah, that's right. There's just so no, it'll be a competitive game. It might not be a Picasso, but they'll both teams will want to win that because they're looking at their schedule, saying there's not many games that were a pick'em.
Right. Be a good crowd there. A lot of Bruins fans will be there. Yeah. I don't know how many sellouts they've had at the San Jose Arena, this season. Whatever is it called? The HP. I don't even know what it's called anymore.
The old HP Center, right? Yeah,
the old one.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
there can't be that. Yeah, I would say 0 sellouts. Maybe game 1.
Well, you get visiting teams sometimes that bring good crowds.
Yeah, Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto, exactly, and maybe Boston brings enough, but I'm doubting they'll have I think it's only 17,000 there. Small building.
Yeah, it is.
Old school building. It's really along with Nashville.
Yep.
Probably the most old school, simple building, right?
Yeah. And Calgary's still there too.
But that's correct. Calgary, right. They're building a new one. But the San Jose building, from a fan's perspective, it's kind of cold. It's like a lot of steel and whatever, but it's tight, man. It's, and it's loud when it's filled. I mean, I think players actually like playing there because of the size of it, right?
Yeah.
All right, what happens? Just a couple more things here. Why do you go from good first periods to very poor second periods? Is it literally just going in and sitting down and then having that moment, the kind of deflating almost, and then the opponent says, okay, enough of that type of thing? Is it more of that, or is it what the Bruins aren't doing?
No, it's just it's just a lot of it has to do with the back end, not being able to get pucks out of the zone, getting stuck in the zone, not being able to, like, you see it even when they do get out of their zone, they're there for 30 seconds and they chip the puck into the offensive zone and they change. Like they have no ability to keep an offensive cycle going. They don't have the ability to keep puck possession in the offensive zone right now. And then when they're in their own zone, they make one bad play and it feels like they're there for 5 straight minutes.
Yeah. It's
It's what the Bruins have done to other teams forever.
yeah.
Right.
But
Just
you're right, but
rolling.
it's happening to you, so it feels and looks different.
It does. But you could go back to 2 years ago and look at what second periods look like when the Bruins were rolling over their lines, and it would be a 1-1 game or a 1-0 game, and then after the second it was 4-0, and you're like, oh, game's over.
Done.
You're on the other side of it now.
All right. If you had to pick, first of all, have you ever been to a Vegas show? Have you ever gone to a show in Vegas?
Yeah, I used to do Vegas, and I never went to a show. I went lots of clubs, but no shows. I would always
Wait,
have been
Razor does Vegas. Not a
Cirque du
bad.
Soleil.
It could be a little segment.
Yeah.
What was Razor doing Vegas like? When Razor did Vegas, were you I'm taking out this amount of money and this was my limit? Or were you just like, it's a free for all with regard to gambling because I'm here and so I'm okay? How did Razor take Vegas?
No, I wasn't gambling wise. No, nothing crazy.
Okay.
Like we would play cards, but not like some of my buddies that just, didn't have a limit.
right.
So I would kind of more sit beside them and watch that chaos, with my $25 a hand and kind of hang out.
And your free beverages, right?
Yeah, of course. And then the pool, get up and sit by the pool. That was really what
Who would you do Vegas with? Was it Canadian buddies? Was it hockey
I had
buddies?
my Canadian buddies. We went a couple times. I went with, I had my bachelor party there. So they, I had them all out for that, which is, interesting.
So
yeah.
Never a Vegas show. I've never been to a Vegas show either.
No?
I don't think so. If
like
I have, I don't remember.
The Sphere is something that I feel like I really need to do now, right? Like,
yeah, I guess to say I saw something there, but I don't have that yearn that must go. If I'm out there, I guess I would try. But do you want to see? Are you a U2 fan? I mean, I'm enough of a U2 fan. I would go see. Are they even playing there still? I don't even know.
I don't think they're there anymore.
Okay,
no.
see, I can't keep up with all that stuff.
DJs there now and stuff. Like, but no, that's the whole thing. Like, it's just too much for me now. Like, it's
you're old, right?
I'm old.
And I'm older than you.
Like, but we, like, Aaron and I have talked. Like, I'm like, why don't we go out there and just like we haven't been in 20 years. Why don't we go out and just eat dinner and hang out? Like, there's got to be another way of doing it than what we used to do. Isn't
it's
there?
A good point. One year, Victoria and I went out there. I needed that end of year last bump. I think it was for Delta to be like the platinum or something. So it was we like, let's go. Flights were cheap. That's when the world was so not crazy and all that stuff. And we went out there and we had 2 dinners, 2 nights. It was like 1.5 day, 2 nights type of thing. And we did it. It was fun, but we didn't find like, I can't remember if I've ever been to a show. Come to think of it, I keep feeling like maybe I saw some singer out there, but anyways, couldn't have been that good that I forgot it, or it was my state of being at the time. But it's fun. But like now I was out there for the playoffs, 2 years ago when they won the cup. And now, granted, I was walking around on one leg because my hip was awful, so I was kind of miserable like that. But it's just so constantly people. It's a tough way to be. That's a me thing, though. Yeah. I get antisocial in that regard. I haven't gambled the last 3 times I've been to Vegas. I literally have not gambled once, and I've been okay with that.
Yeah, I feel like you can at least go there and not gamble now because there's so much to do. But at the same time, it is part of the, to walk through the tables, you kind of have to have a little, it's more interesting to go there if you have that itch. And if you don't have the itch, there's enough other places to go that.
Yeah, but I lose interest after 2 days without that. The gambling gives you sometimes a 3 hour. I mean, if you can hang on and not lose.
Well, that's it. Like, I like sitting, like, to sit down at a table after dinner and kill 3 hours is fun.
It can be entertaining, right?
It's very, people watching. You got random dudes sitting down beside you that you're like, wow, this guy.
Yeah.
So the people watching is fun in that respect.
I would like to go, if I had to pick a Vegas show to go to, it'd be one of those illusionists, one of those performers,
magic show,
a magic illusion, whatever they're called now.
That's the thing too. I don't even know what shows there are. Like, there's got to be some cool new show that I've never even heard of before.
Well, there has to be, but on the other hand, a lot of the shows out there are grand, and then I don't know. I wonder, like, how does that person sell out all the time?
Because people look for just go and they just book it. They don't even know.
I guess, but that's what I'd like to do. One of those, was it like Chris Angel?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think Copperfield lives out there. I don't know if he performs out there. I have no idea. But I guess that would be one. I will tell you this: the food's gotten pretty good out there.
Yeah.
And so that to me is always fun. But man, sometimes those casinos, it takes you a full day just to figure out where to turn, and you get lost.
They're so big.
They're enormous. But there's a good chance, folks, that they're going to be in the finals. So if they are, we'll be back out there. We'll be working our way around Vegas again. Maybe we'll have more of a report. I'll do a food thing for Vegas. There is a lot of good food now. There's so many restaurants. You wonder how do all these restaurants survive out there? But yet, it's because all the people out there, and there's definitely people that are foodies as well. physical food. All right, that's going to wrap up this morning brew, Jaffe and Razor. We're going to be back on Monday morning. We've got a game Saturday. Why they play 7:30 games local time in San Jose? It should be outlawed. There should be some type of rule now.
In on Saturday night, anyways.
Saturday night. I mean, come on.
Tuesday night, I get it, maybe, but
I guess
not on Saturday.
San Jose, what are you doing? So Razor and I have got a very late night Saturday night, but then we'll be back Sunday night. It's a 9:00 Eastern start against Anaheim. So we're going to do a show Monday morning. We're going to get both those games. We'll talk about them. We'll see what Fabian Lysell and other players do. We'll see what there has been going on. We'll have some California talk. But the next show, Monday morning. In the meantime, Bruins lose again, 4 consecutive losses, and they lost 7 of 9. Season's getting close to being over. They got, what is it? 12 more games?
12.
Where are we at? 12 games left. All right. We'll see what they do. Everybody try and enjoy your coffee. Razor's going to be together with me tonight on the Nesson broadcast for Hockey East. Final, UConn taking on Maine in what should hopefully be an excellent game. Everybody, thanks for listening. Enjoy your coffee.